Have you ever thought about how to invest money or even what do it look like on a day-to-day basis to get started? Well, lucky for you, this is going to be an amazing video. We're going to go over step by step how to get started investing with a plan and to implement that plan with a strategy and a portfolio. Now, this is going to be a cool experiment to see the month-to-month returns or the ups and downs of the market that you'll see throughout this portfolio. So I thought it would be a great idea to create some kind of plan and experiment with a portfolio with some allocations that I just thought of. Now, please note that investing have a considerable risk and you need to do your own research. These are not recommendations or anything. This is just an experiment to allow you to see the day-to-day, the month-to-month, the week-to-week to what to expect when you invest into the market and sometimes the volatility in the market. So let's hit that intro.
We are controlling the future.
Way I personally view a portfolio, it's exactly like building a team, a freaking team, an NBA team. Okay, so we're going to do the same aspect and the same thing. So first thing I want to know, we're going to start off with a salary cap of $2,500. We're going to set some rules so that we have to follow, and then we're going to paper trade this thing. Let's get it. Okay, so first off, the team outlook. We are expecting to win a championship in 10 years. Basically, what I'm saying, the horizon on this portfolio is at least 10 years. So we expecting for the long term, at least 10 to 20 years on this portfolio when we're building this thing. So it's not going to be a quick flip because nothing really, if it's quick money, then you should be scared of that money, okay? So nothing happens quick. It's going to grow and we're going to be aggressive. So this is $2,500 that we can afford to lose, that we cannot see. Of course, we're paper trading it, but we can afford to see it go to zero. Aggressive, our strategy is going to be buy assets on the drawdown. So we're going to wait till those assets come down to our average drawdown that we can tell, and then we're going to attack and buy those assets. Okay, so next thing, the team outlook. So we're going to have 80% long term, and then we're going to have 20% in short term trades. So that's about $2,000 going to go towards our stock allocation, and 20% going to go towards us doing different trades or options if we see those fit. Okay, so now if you someone who think $2,500 is a lot, you don't have to start off with $2,500. This is what I chose with and what was best for the simulator, because even with the simulator it has 10,000, but we're only going to use 2,500. So think about 2,500 of about $210 a check, or $210 a month per check, deposit into an account to save up for that. You don't have to start off with this amount. This is just an example. You can start off a little smaller, or however you want to do it, but it's going to be the same steps. So if you'd like to have more tips on how to get to that $2,500 or to set up that plan, please comment below and let me know, and we can have a video of different methods and hacks to get to that $2,500 or whatever your starting amount is. Okay, so with every team, you have to know what players you're getting, and so to get the players, you got to know the right fit. It's just like 2K or anything. So we have a scouting report, and our first scouting report, the first player we're gonna get is gonna be the point guard. It's called SPLG, ticker SPLG. We're gonna allocate 50% of our salary cap to SPLG. So some of the perks and the reason why we like SPLG is because it's an all-around guard. So SPLG is an ETF. The ETF contains multiple companies, and this was special about SPLG is similar to the SPY, but it's cheaper, the allocation. So what is the SPY ETF? The SPY ETF has 500 of top companies in the United States, in the world, right? So it's the top 500 companies. So it gives you a little bit of anything and everything for every sector. There's 11 sectors in the market. It allows you to get exposure to the top companies at every sector, and it do it by itself. So the reason why I picked that as my point guard is all around and give you a little exposure to everything, you know, and it's known as the benchmark. The SPY is a lot of times known as the benchmark of the league, and it's not too flashy, but it's a well-known veteran. That's what we need on our team. That's what we need in our portfolio, a well-known veteran that can constantly produce, and that's known for it to be predictable and known to give us a good, solid performance day in and day out, or month in, or year out. The average 10-year return on the SPY or the SPLG is 11.72%. The weakness months are September. Hey, we in September. So what that tells you is if it's weakness and weekly performing, then maybe I want to kind of, look out and see that's a good time to enter. All right, so on the strong months, best performance July. Okay, that's something I can note. Maybe I don't want to try to buy in July on a historically basis. Of course, historic basis, a lot of history don't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. So we don't judge everything off of the past, but it kind of gives us an ideal, a sense of what to think about, or just a little clue of how to look at things. Also, nothing goes straight up, and each one of these players have some kind of downfall or some kind of called risk. And like anytime you draft a player, they have some kind of risk or some kind of weaknesses, right? So for the SPLG or SPY, the biggest slump was 49.80%, which was in the 2007 crisis, right? So that was a big deal. So that kind of gave me an idea. The rock bottom, the worst it ever performed, the biggest drawdown, the biggest slump was 49%. And based on the yearly drawdowns, it usually draw down from 5 to 8%. Okay, so that's something to take a note, and that is our entry drawdown. Our entry drawdown is where we want to look to add to our position. Again, we got $300 for this position, so we want to add some of that into that as an entry and see how it goes. So that's our first player right there, the first draft player. Not in the order, but that is our draft player. Point guard, who's going to give us an all-around aspect. He can do a little bit of everything, so that's why we got him in the portfolio. Next up in our portfolio, we have our power forward XLV. Now, XLV is a ETF, healthcare sector ETF. It has the top healthcare companies, okay? So the salary we're going to allocate towards this player is about $300. Again, remember our total salary cap is $2,500, but we're only gonna use $2,000 for investing. So 15% of that is $300. That's where I'm getting these totals from. So what's cool about the XLV, it's a two-way forward. So it's not affected by the crowd noise as much as the others. So what I mean by crowd noise is a lot of times the economy goes up and down into phases, right? So no matter if we're in a recession or if we're growing or recovering, everybody need to take care of health. They need to go see the doctor. They need to go get equipment, things of that nature. So even though it can affect certain other things more, but with XLV, the health sector, it's more stable compared to others. They give us a little balance on the front five to allow us to see what we can possibly do, and when others aren't performing well, this one right here, give the ball to him. XLV gonna take care of it, no matter how big or how noisy the surrounding environment is. It still can have a chance to outperform, right? So that's why we have XLV. It has the top healthcare companies within the ETFs. It's not too flashy, but it has great upsides as well as growth. But it's not too flashy. It can be not as most talked about sometimes. Consistent with small, and it has smaller slumps. A lot of times you see bigger performance. With big performance, you see bigger slumps. But in this case, let's look at some of the averages. So the 10-year average for XLV is 11.52%, but the biggest slump is 35%, which was back in 2007 as well. Now note, I believe the last one was maybe 49 or something like that. Notice XLV was 35%, so the drawdown wasn't during the same time. The drawdown wasn't as hurtful with XLV, so it kind of outperformed compared to XPLG in this case. So this will give us that balance of a little bit of this, a little bit of hint of this. You can't have all seasoned salt into your food. You gotta have a little, those playmakers are two-way forwards. This is a two-way forward. So even in the biggest environments or hostile environments, it still can attack. And the entry drawdown we're looking for is 10 to 14%. Now, if you are interested to kind of figure out how I got these averages or kind of got this range, be sure to comment below, say you want the video, and I will gladly go over some of the tools that I had to look at some of these entries or these down draw entries.
Starting at center of your portfolio, we have TLT.
We're going to allocate 25%, which is 500 of our portfolio towards TLT. So TLT is a 20-year treasury bond ETF. Okay, so what this do is a rim protector. It protects your team in hostile environments. So whenever things such as, it's inversely correlated with the rates. So whenever rates go down, so usually rates go down when maybe a recession hit or the economy start to slow down. So it allows you, it can outperform in hostile environments when nobody else on your team is performing. So this is more of a defense mechanism. It's not with it, he'll get buckets at the times when nobody else getting buckets. So when nobody else get buckets, sometimes it can get buckets more than anybody else. But that's why we have it on this team, because we have to have those people do the dirty work. And TLT is going to do the dirty work. This is like the Tristan Thompson. This is like the DeAndre Ayton. He all right, but this is like the JaVale McGee. You need those type of players that he might go for 20 just randomly or 20 and 20 randomly because the environment that you're in and nobody else can hit. Okay, so it's a unique skill set and it give you diversity. So we're gonna give it 25%. We gotta have those type of players in our portfolio. On average, he averaged 0.94% in 10 years. Now you probably say, oh, that's bad. Remember, this is not about getting buckets. This is about defense. We're not trying to get buckets with this player. We need defense, right? So the weakest month is December, and the biggest slump is 41%, which is currently now, 2023. It has never been drawn down this much, right? So the entry drawdown is 20% on that.
Starting at shooting guard in the portfolio, having some of the biggest and best companies in the world, we have XLK.
So you got to have a shooter on it. So XLK, this is the tech sector. It has the top tech companies in the world in it. So the allocation on this one is 15%. We allocating $300 to this. So think about XLK as a sharpshooter. He is a walking bucket. He gonna get buckets, day in, year out, he getting buckets. He has a tremendous upside and he has a lot of leadership. Only thing is sometimes his growth is heavily accelerated, but he got slumps. His slumps are big as his growth sometimes. And you're gonna see this in some of his stats. But basically he really flashes and sometimes can be a loose cannon though, because a lot of times people will overbuy or overreact to some different things within XLK and cause it to go up real quick and also cause it to go down real quick. So it's very, very, has a tremendous upside and leadership at times, and they've been leading in the game for like decades now, for at least a decade, Let's look at some of the stats about it. So the stats average is 19.25%, and this is why he one of our top, our shooter. Hand down, man down. That's the person you can go to when things are going good. When he hot, but when he down, he can slump. As you can see, the biggest slump was 80.47% in the .com crash. So sometimes he can be JR and be in the moments of JR when JR didn't pull up that in the finals against the Warriors. He didn't put up that putback shot and just held the ball. He can be that. So this is the risk that you have with XLK. He can be great and hit 20 shots in a row, and then he can miss 40. So we have to be careful with that and know how we can manage him. So we're going with 15%. In this case, and he complements our star player. Now you're like, who's our star player? Who's our franchise player? All right, I'm gonna show you. Our franchise player is
Starting at small forward, the franchise player of the portfolio, aka known as the man,
SMH Semiconductor ETF. What's SMH? That is an ETF based off chip makers and chip manufacturers. Okay, so the salary allocation for this one is 30%, $600, right? So the reason why it's our star, we have to allocate more salary cap towards our star, right? Because he's gonna perform the most. He's expected to perform the most and be one of our leaders. So one thing about SMH, he's our franchise players. He's the possible face of the league for the future. So it's a possibility that he can be the face of the league in the future going forward. So for decades to come. So he has the top chip companies within the ETF, and it has a lot of hype, which can be disappointing as well. What I mean by hype, a lot of the AI future and all that stuff is built around SMH, because a lot of those products that you can make AI, the things that you want to do with AI, contains chips, and those companies have to make chips, and this contains the top chips companies in the world, right? So a lot of hype. Just like Zion, you can have a lot of hype and it can be disappointing, just like Zion as well. So that's the risk. So it's really flashy, and it's learning how to lead a team. So we don't know if it's capable yet, but it's trying to. People are hyping him up on the potential of what he can do, but he haven't showed that yet in a sense, containing AI, but totally, it's still in the early stages, but it is a lot of hype around this player, and that's why we are feeding the hype. We believe in the hype in this example of SMH being the leader of the market. So he has a high ceiling, but can easily be affected by the environment. So he can be easily affected by, same thing with XLK, he can be affected by the state of the economy. So so this is kind of why we are leading and building a team around him. So when he's down, maybe TLT can help, or maybe XLV can chip in when he's down. No pun intended. But when he's down. And let's look at the stats. The average 10-year return is 23%. As you can see, he's the highest, on average, the highest return on that starting lineup. That's the reason why he get paid the big bucks. That's the reason why we are allocating $600 to him as well. So his weaknesses month is September, strongest is July. Again, you see it's a common thing, September and July. It's a common thing, something to keep note of. The biggest slump is 72%. Anything that goes up can go down as well. So the biggest slump was 2007, 72, which is the most of all the players that we have on our roster. Right? So that's something to keep in mind. So we need to make sure we keep an eye on him, make sure he's growing at the right potential, the right speed, and make sure that he's not derailing our team. Because if he is, we may have to make other moves and make other shifts. These are just what we're starting out with our team. Our team, as you know, it can be trades. So whoever not performing correctly, they can get gone. Right? So we have a team, we're trying to win a championship within 10 years, and we have a goal that we have to be met. If these players not meeting, or these stocks are not meeting our expectations, then it's all right, or our thesis change, we will change allocations. Okay? So we're not married to any player. This is a business. It's nothing personal. You hear me, SMH? This is business. If you don't perform, you out. We'll have somebody else be the star. Okay, so the entry on the drawdown on this one is 14 to 18%. 14 to 8%. So just like that, these are our starting lineups right here, baby. Let's go. This is what we're going with. This is what we're rocking with in this experiment. We're going to go ahead and rock with them. This is what we're going with. This is our all-stars. This is our starting lineup, and this is what we got. All right, let's see how they perform, and let's see how we can allocate towards that. All that slideshow showed you was pretty much this table right here. So this is kind of how we are going to track everything. And you see that we have our allocations. This is the amount, right? And we do have cash as a position, but we're going to talk about that another episode. Cash as a position, we're going to keep about 20% of cash, because we never know what's going to happen. If a recession or something comes, it can go down longer, but we're going to keep that in mind. All right, so we got our total amounts of how much we spent on each player, and then in the drawdown entry. Okay, so before we even get started, I want to see how our team performed the last 10 years, just to get an idea of what happened. Again, past does not mean it's gonna happen again. The past does not mean the future. It just gives us something to rhyme, but it kind of gives us something to expect. So we're gonna go 10 years from today. We start off with $2,500, and we allocate it towards, this is our allocation, and we're going to compare it to SPY, which is, like I said, is like the benchmark portfolio. So let's see what happens. Okay, so the return wise, our portfolio outperformed the SPY on a 10-year from the last 10 years. We're gonna look at the drawdowns from the last 10 years. So the red is the SPY, and portfolio 1 is us. So you can see in 2020, when COVID happened, our portfolio only went down 7.42 in Nick's example, but the SPY went down 19%. So that's something good you want to see. In certain cases, you want to see that your portfolio don't go down as much, but it's also make more. Okay, in this case, in this recent drawdown, it went down more. So it went down 29% compared to SPY going down 23%. Okay, and it's a lot of different methods of kind of playing with this and seeing how it go. And let's go from 1985. And this is a cool way to just kind of see what, you can put anything on here and you can see what how it performed, the drawdowns. And I'm gonna keep it real simple, so I'm not gonna go into the other details or any other stacks you can look at. So in this case, in 2009, during the 2007 crash, our portfolio would have went down 32%, but the SPY or the market went down 50%. So that's another reason why we got TLT, give us a little cushion from having to go down there, and XLV from going down that way as well. So we would have been only down 32% compared to the market being down 50%. Okay, so that's a really cool way of seeing how our team performed the last 10 years if we had them together. If we started this 10 years ago, and let's see what it would have been 10 years ago. So if we would have started this in 2013, our total would have been about 11,500, right? So $11,500. If we would have started the same allocation 10 years ago. Again, past results don't guarantee future, results. Okay, so this is just a way to look at it. All right, so cool. Now that we have that, let's get our account set up where we can get everything set up today, and we don't have to worry about doing anything. So we're gonna basically get our account set up where we can go ahead and have these entries ready, because it's September, and as you can see, all those companies or ETFs weakness are in September. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the charts. Okay, we're gonna start off with SPY or SPLG, 5 to 8%. Okay, so we're gonna look at the drawdown. Get this little tool right here. And go here and go all the way down to at least 5%. So this is about 5. So it's already 5%. So let's go down to 8% to 9%. So let's go 8%. So this is support. Okay, around there. So we going to say we want to get in around, let's just say $49. Okay, so we're just gonna say $49.20. If it goes down to $49.20, that'll be about 9%. Okay, about 8.9%. So $49.20. Okay. So again, our strategy is to, whatever the average drawdown is to get in on the average drawdown. So I'm just going to put that that price target, and this is, I'm gonna put that price target here for SPLG. Oh, what I say it was? We're gonna go with 49.33. Okay, now we're gonna go to SMH. So SMH drawdown usually be about 14 to 18%. So SMH, let's do it. So SMH, which is our star player, you know, we're gonna get $600 worth of this, and we're gonna act like, you know, we continue to add into the account. So we're gonna see how it grows. So it's gonna be pretty cool. So what was it? 18%. Yeah, 14 to 18%. So from the top, 14 will be about right here. So I'm just going to draw this about here to 18% here. So about here. So anywhere up in this zone. So we are going to go for, to be on a one, we're gonna go 135. All right, so just to have an even 135. Okay, and you just do this for all of them. So XLK. XLK is 11 to 17%. So right now it's down 9. So 11 would be right here. So about 160. 11% would be close to 160. And one thing about investing for 10 years, you don't have to be perfect. There's no way you cannot time the market. We are just trying to get to decent prices. We're gonna know we're gonna add on more to 17%. This is really the ideal one. So this is really ideal for 150. So let's go with let's see. This is a double top look like? Yeah. So let's go with 151. We want to get in at 151. Okay, price target 151. Okay, that's what XLK, not XLV. XLV usually go down 10 to 14%. XLV, I really wanted at 13%. I remember looking at this. Okay. From where it was, so 13%. So you got a ways to fall before it hit our target. So 10 to 14%. So let's go 10%. We can go down 10%. Be around here. Around here. I'm just gonna put this here. Okay, 10%. So let's go with 124. I keep on doing that. 124. And TLT, we're gonna buy now because TLT is already down a lot. TLT. Again, this is just an experiment. Let's see how it go and see how we do. So it's been having a bad week, months. Okay, so So we're gonna nibble on some now, but we're just gonna go with now. We're gonna get some now and see what happens later. We're gonna put it now. Okay. Now I'm going to hide these. Hide. Okay. Okay, I hope everybody can see this. So this is our price target. We're gonna get some TLT right away. We're gonna get some we're gonna get SPLG for 49. And we're gonna get 135. And then we're gonna do 51, 51, and 124. Okay. So alright, so those are our price targets, okay? And let's go. Let's hide this. Let's hide this. Okay, so now I'm going to, what's the current price on that? 90, let's say $90. 90. Okay, so I want to see how many shares we can actually get right now or at these price target. So to do that, I'm gonna do equal this mean equal this divided by this equals, I don't know why I did that. Okay, so on this one, it tell you how many shares, basically how many. So this tell you how many shares we can get. This tell you how many shares we can get. Okay, so we can get 2 of those. Okay, cool. So this let me know how many shares I can get with our allocation. All right. So let's go ahead and set up our go to our trading account and go ahead and do limit orders to set this. So when we do this, we don't have to do nothing else. Like, it's already set after this. So once we go to make these limit order, that's the managing part. That's it. Okay. So to show you how to actually make the trades, follow me, stay along, and let me show you. Simulator. We'll start off with 10,000, but we're going to act like we only have 2,500. So what we're going to do, this is a good way to, if you practicing and if you want to be a part of this game or just want to get some practice on seeing what you can buy, how it works with using paper money, let me know and I can send you an invite and we'll see how you do. Okay, so this is a good way to practice. This is just a simulator and it's free. So first thing you want to do is, and a lot of the same way you do it on here is kind of similar to how you do it on a broker. And we'll, if you want to know step by step how to create an account, a real account, and how to do execute trades or do limit orders or any kind of things that we're doing on this practice, please subscribe and also comment with exactly what you want to see so I can know what to bring to people. All right, so first thing you want to do is go to trade on this example, and again, this is our menu. Right, so the first we're gonna start off with TLT. We're gonna say $90 is our target and we want to buy 5. All right, so TLT, buy quantity 5. We're going to go to limit, okay, because if you do a limit order, you can set the price that you want to enter at. We want to enter at $90, and we want it good until cancel. So this would be until when it hits this, it would automatically fill this request. If it don't hit it, then it will not fill. Okay, we're going to submit order. Okay, we're going to click here to submit another one. All right, the next one will be, I'm gonna go ahead and just put this over here. The next one will be SPLG. We're going to buy a quantity of, we want to get about $300 worth. Now some allow you to do partial, so if that's something you want to do, that'll be cool too, but in this case it doesn't, so we're going to get 6. Okay, and we're going to go to a limit. The price we want to get in at is $49.33. Right now it's at $50.60, but we want to get in at $49.33. We're going to get 6. And we're going to go here. And then we're going to go. Now, usually you don't, if you have a position size, you might not want to put everything in there at once. So if you have, $600 to allocate towards SMH, you might only want to get in at do half because it can go down lower. But in this case, we're just going to act like we're going to continue to add money to this account. So if it do go lower, we can add more to our position, but keep our allocation at the same time. So we're going to do a buy. We want to buy of SMH. We want $600 worth, but it's only can get 4. So we want to limit the price. Okay, the price we want to get in at, again, going back to the spreadsheet, the price we want to get in at is 135, which is the drawdown, the average drawdown on SMH. Okay, so 135, and with duration, we want it to stay open until we cancel it. Okay, we're going to submit. Okay, and you just do this for the remaining players on our team until you get all of them in. So we got it through the XLK. We're gonna go buy the quantity, how many we want. XLK, we want 2. Market, limit, limit. The price that we want to enter is the average drawdown. The average drawdown, let's see, my bad. Oh yeah, the average drawdown on XLK is 11 to 17% from the peak. So we want to, the price is gonna be 151 is the price we want to get in, and we only want 2 right at this moment. Submit. Okay, the next one we're going to go to XLV, and this is our last player. Remember, XLV is healthcare. We want to do let's see, 124. So we're gonna get 2 shares. Limit 124. Okay, now, so if it don't hit these prices, then it would not fill. So we would stay in cash until it hit these prices. Okay, so we're going to order status, and we can see all the different orders that we have. And it should equal, once these trigger, it equals about $2,000. Okay, so if it don't hit these, if it don't get down to that, then we don't buy. Right, 90% of investing is waiting. So we don't want to get in at the top. We want to get in at least at some kind of dip on average of the dips. So this is just a phase in the first part. Remember, this is for 10 years. So we are waiting on anything to happen so it can possibly hit our triggers, and we'll see what happened. And that's pretty much it. Now, if you want to see exactly how much or how it performs and when we enter these trades, Please be sure to follow and subscribe so you can see the growth of the account and how it works and how it will do and when it triggers. So every time it triggers, I have a video or some kind of link, or I'll say something on Facebook or social network. So please be sure to follow us so you can get those updates. So again, this is another tune. Thank you for tuning in and showing us the love and support. Please share this with somebody and continue to tap in. And remember, keep applying and investing pressure.